Community policing is not a new thing. It is practiced all over the world, not only here. It is here in Nigeria that we are just waking up to community policing. And I'm happy that we are finally woken up, that we will now take things seriously so that crime will be not only prevented, but will be eradicated. Therefore, this, do I call a lecture? I have written a book in 2012 on policing and democratic Nigeria. And in that book, I dedicated a chapter on community policing. It is from that chapter that I made out some synopsis for us to understand here. I'll read through it so that we'll have a better understanding of what community policing is all about. Thereafter, I'll now go into the details on how it will be implemented as designed by the Inspector General of Police. I am not the only person who has been sent out to represent the IG. He has sent a lot of other senior officers throughout the country to all geopolitical zones of the country. I think about 2 in each geopolitical zone to pass this message. And I'm happy to hear that Adamawa State has started implementing community policing by recruiting a set of policemen who are already started behind us here. But this note that we are going to discuss here will tell us how to do the recruitment. Everybody is going to be involved. And therefore I plead that you please give me your ears. I will not take much of your time, but even if I take, be patient. Philosophy of community policing. In democratic policing organization, community policing must be seen to be transparent. It must be seen to be apolitical. It must be seen to be accountable. It must be seen to be responsive to public perception and public expectations. So the traditional approach to policing, which is exclusively law enforcement based, cannot meet the challenges of preventing crime and antisocial behavior within the society. And that is why I think the Inspector General of Police said we must do something different, not to leave it to the police alone. Therefore, community policing philosophy is built on the strong conviction that people deserve and have a right to have a say in policing in exchange for their participation and support. If they cannot have a right, they will not participate and they will not support. But if they have a right in policing, they will support and they will participate. So community policing all rests on the views that the solution to community problem requires the police and the public themselves to examine innovative ways to address community concerns without narrow focus on individual crimes and or incidences. And therefore, these crimes and incidents are cut across so many things: drugs, arms, human trafficking, and many others. So it is going to be accountable partnership between the professional police and a responsive community. So community policing involves the police involving the public in deciding police priorities, viewing their primary roles as the provision of service to the community. Not policing, but provision of service to the community. That's the primary role of the police, and that is how we want you to see that new police. Their primary role is to provide service to the community. This does not, however, mean that listening to community opinions will affect the enforcement of law negatively. No. It is believed that when people know that their opinions are sought and taken into account, they are encouraged and motivated to participate in crime prevention and maintenance of law and order in the community where they live. I hope you are following. Now, therefore, it is an appropriate module for the formulation and implementation of policies and measures for crime prevention and control, not only here in Adamawa State, but also throughout Nigeria. If this is effectively implemented, it will eradicate the them and the us mentality between the police and the community. They, the police, we, the community, as if they're two different things. No. We don't want that to happen. We want to eradicate that them and us mentality. So if this is eradicated, the police and the community will become partners in progress in the fight for crime. The development of community policing requires an agreed set of values and beliefs about policing, to which every employee is committed. This commitment will not be achieved easily and will require a process of education, consultation, persuasion. And that is why I am here to educate, and the CP will continue with the consultation and the persuasion so that all of us will be carried along. We need to determine the exact nature of this process, but these are some of the core values that are enumerated that we must take care of. One, there must be that respect and protection for human rights. There must be transparency and openness in relation to the activities and relationship inside and outside the police organization. We must demonstrate commitment at all times to deliver the best possible policing service. The empowerment of all employees to make appropriate decisions. That is giving a chance to everybody to participate in decision making, which will facilitate the delivering of a quality service. And there must be willingness to listen and to act upon public opinion regarding police priorities. Therefore, there are several features of community policing which cuts across several endeavors, and it actually anchors the groups that partner together and also bear the risk. So if the police and the community partner together, they will also work together, and if there is any risk, they bear it together. So policing service is a very visible, it is visible and accessible. It involves community consultation, cooperation, and interdependency. It involves multi-agency collaboration. It is essentially proactive, and it is also accountable. What do I mean by visible and accessible? Selected patrol officers will be assigned permanently to small area or zone with the responsibility of policing those areas. The patrols are conducted on foot or bicycle or motorcycle or whatever means is available to allow for interaction between them and members of the community. The aims of patrol are to be preventive and provide public assurance. The aim of the patrol is to prevent crime from commission and assure the members of the public that we are there. And therefore, the demeanor of a patrol officer should be such that citizens will feel encouraged to approach and seek assistance. I said it involves community consultation and cooperation. Why? Because the police participate in with the public in identifying the needs of security of that area. 2, because the police and the community work in partnership to devise and implement agreed solutions to problems. It also involves multi-agency collaboration. The police recognize that no statutory or voluntary body can make a meaningful impact on social problems if it acts in isolation. And therefore, the police must act together with other voluntary organizations, security organizations, like the custom, the immigration, the military, and I have seen some of them here, which gives me the assurance that it is going to be well implemented. The police liaise and work together with other statutory and voluntary organizations in addressing crime and other disturbances to public order. And I said it is essentially proactive because the underlying causes of crime and antisocial incidents and public complaints are therefore analyzed and identified. Then, rather than simply reacting to the incidents of crime and antisocial behavior, it adopts a systematic and integrated problem solving to prevent these incidences from occurring. You don't have to wait until the incident has occurred before. Take measures to prevent the incident from occurring. What are the benefits of community policing? 1, to the community, to the police, and to the nation. Let's start with the benefits to the community. The individual member of the community will enjoy peace of mind and life. He will enjoy the respect and the protection of human rights. Criminals who are amongst us, being aware that the community has become eagle-eyed on them, may no longer perpetrate the nurtured evil freely as they used to do. The fear built in them by the sole idea of neighborhood watch cautions them, thereby curbing the easily committed crimes which could place threats on the peace of citizens and to some reasonable extent the country. There will be better communication and mutual understanding will be established. It will create a solid rapport between the citizens who express their concern and the police who exhibit dedication in listening to those concerns. Nothing therefore will be hidden from the residents who have the clearer picture of what the police face on daily basis as a result of the communicative rapport between them. They now understand the problems of the police and be willing to assist. So the benefit to the police, it allows the possibility of generating many partners for police officers. Every person is a police officer. So it helps to generate that partnership. 2, the police can easily lay hands on information that can help prevent and solve crimes because everybody is interested in solving criminality. And therefore it makes police work easier. Ideas generation is made easy since citizens are involved. drastic reduction in the aspect of corrupt practices as the teams work together to expose criminals. That corrupt practices that is prevalent in the police will be reduced to the minimum, since it is community policing partnership. There won't be any room for corruption and corrupt practices. And there are going to be donations of resources and finance which will help the police to carry out their duties with less stress. You don't have to go cap in hand begging again, because the community already know your problems and they will be willing to assist you with cash, time, or whatever, so that your job will be done properly, since it is their benefit, to their benefit. Now the benefits to the government. For the government, the integrity of government at all levels, federal, state, and local government, will be redeemed as people would give listening ears and participate in crime control. Therefore, the cost implication of crime curbing will be reduced. Community policing will reduce crime to a certain percentage. We can't say we'll eliminate it. There will be reduction in civil unrest and other criminalities which will boost political stability. Issues like violence, cultism, terrorism, kidnapping, armed robbery, car snatching, religious tensions, etc., will be curbed and allow for the concentration of governance. And that is why I said it will reduce costs. The government will now concentrate on governance, because the other aspect that will distract the attention of government have been taken care of by community policing. So from the above illustrations and the development of community policing, the meaning, the philosophy, characteristics and benefits of effective community policing to the police, to the community and the nation at large, we can conclude that community policing is one of the best policing strategies to sustain Nigeria's democratic governance. In its practice, the police are encouraged to see themselves as advocates of the local community, as well as their problem-solving partners. Thus, they are expected to they are expected to anticipate community needs and problems and intervene, providing long-lasting solutions. Community policing is based on the assumption that policing will be more effective if it has the support and the input from the community, and if it recognizes the social services and other maintenance aspects of the police role. So left hand washes right hand and things will go peacefully. This type of policing will go a long way in sustaining and strengthening democratic governance in the country, as the people will cease to see the police as instrument of coercion, but will see them as partners in the task of nation building through community policing development. More so, as citizens will accept police authority out of respect and not out of intimidation. Are we together? Furthermore, as we all know that the major functions of a particular community is to provide security for their area, police is just an instrument of protection of life and property in a particular community. For a community to identify the needs for a working relationship with the police in time of need, the police will positively influence the community, and the community in turn influence the police. This symbiotic relationship will go a long way and will have some salutary impact on the image of the police, its public perception, and confidence. Are you hearing me, policemen? Now, that is the aim, that is the philosophy behind community policing. That is what we want community policing to achieve. And therefore, the Inspector General of Police, in his magnanimity, has strategically divided this work very simple, that all of us are involved and we can carry out to the letter. The strategic actors in this new community policing is the Commissioner of Police in the state, the area commanders, the divisional police officers. All these are strategic actors. And we will also have strategic actors from the members of community who are credible and respectable leaders and citizens. They all shall be mobilized to play specific roles. And what are the roles? One,